Hey, and welcome back to Trackside Tea, the F1 podcast where the takes are hot, the tea is flowing, and the logic, well, questionable at best. So this week I took a little break from the modern chaos of F1 and stepped back in time, all the way back to ancient Egypt from Tutankhamun immersive experience in London at the ExCeL. It was absolutely amazing. I think it's actually closed now, but it might do the rounds again. Now, you'd think that this has nothing to do with F1 though, wouldn't you? But oh no, my brain doesn't switch off that easily. This episode is what happens when you mix ancient pharaohs with fast cars, and I promise it kind of somehow works. The pit lane of the Nile. Now, let's set the scene. I was walking through this stunning recreation of King Tut's tomb using a VR headset, which is one of the oddest feelings in the world, just putting it out there, when you know lots of other people are also wandering around looking at the same thing as you with other VR headsets on. It's quite a weird experience, I have to say. But all I could think about was, if ancient Egypt had a Grand Prix, what would it look like? Imagine if this was the grid walk for the Afterlife Grand Prix. I mean, picture it. Golden chariots in the pit lane, papyrus flags waving, Horus on commentary, Anubis in a headset, calling strategy, and Ra as race control. Because obviously the sun god would have total control over the red lights. No DRS zones. I mean, how would you even work that on a chariot? I'm not even sure. I don't even know. They don't even have backs, so there couldn't be a DRS. Anyway, just sand traps and maybe the occasional locust swarm, just to throw in a little bit of a animal twist like the other week. King Tut. Oh, he's not just a pharaoh, he's pole sitter, of course, and the fans, all mummified, but still booing anyone who dared overtake Tutankhamun on his home track. Sound familiar? I think every race where somebody's got a home track, that's exactly how it sounds. F1 drivers as pharaohs, and what they'd be buried with. Naturally, this then leads me on to a new obsession. What would each current F1 driver be buried with if they were pharaohs? Lewis Hamilton, for example. He'd be entombed with his McLaren from 2008. He'd have 7 world champion titles carved in hieroglyphics on his sarcophagus. Vegan incense, only vegan incense, and of course Roscoe. He would be curled up beside him with a little gold collar on. What about Max Verstappen? Max would be on his own, surrounded by Oracle dashboards, Red Bull cans, and a throne made of checker flags. How about Fernando Alonso? Because you all know I have a bit of a soft spot for Fernando. 3 sarcophagi deep, labelled King of Comebacks, Master of Midfield, and Unfinished Business. There you go, that's Alonso, definitely Alonso. Yuki Tsunoda. He'd be buried with a horn to yell at all the gods, and a scroll of grievances against traffic in Monaco. That's definitely got to be a thing, definitely. Oh, I know, Danny Ricciardo. His tomb is a full-on nightclub. It's got to be, with showy goblets, neon lights, and a chariot with the words Honey Badger for life etched into the sides. That would be very good. That's very Danny Rick. Oh, and maybe instead of curses, how they always used to say that Tutankhamun's tomb was cursed, everybody died, blah, blah, and a lot of them was like that, a bit of superstition. But maybe instead of curses, their tombs trigger silly season rumours when they get disturbed. That would be quite funny. Maybe that's what's already happened. There's been quite a few silly rumours already, isn't there? So maybe that's what's already happened. The whole Christian Horner and Ferrari. It's like, really? Really? Not so sure. Silly rumours. What F1 can learn from ancient Egypt. Now, believe it or not, there are actual parallels between ancient Egypt and Formula 1. Stick with me here. Don't go away. Stick with me. Legacy, which is definitely the top one. Tutankhamun was barely 19 when he died, and he ruled for less than a decade. He still became one of the most famous names in history. F1 is obsessed with legacy too. Just look at the constant GOAT debates. Schumacher versus Hamilton versus Senna versus Max. Who's going to be the sport's Tutankhamun in 1,000 years? Who on the current F1 grid is building that kind of legacy? So you got Max, obviously he's trying. Lewis, he's already a legend. Alonso? Do you know what? Alonso, I reckon he's going to outlive the pyramids the way he's going. Pageantry. Egyptians loved a spectacle. And so does F1. Pre-race ceremonies, fireworks, drama, basically modern pyramid building with sponsorship logos. The drama and power court intrigue, political manoeuvring, feuds between dynasties. Honestly, it's just like a pre-race team meeting, to be fair, don't you think? And elaborate rituals. Egyptian burial ceremonies versus F1 pre-race routines and superstitions. So maybe, just maybe, we're not that different. Maybe F1 is just ancient Egypt, but with less eyeliner and stonework, and more carbon fibre and health and safety these days? You never know. So I need to know, who's on your Afterlife Grand Prix grid? What would Charles Leclerc be buried with? Would Carlos Sainz insist on a sarcophagus lined with red velvet? DM me, tag me, drop me a hieroglyph in the comments. I'm at Trackside Tea with Rebecca on Instagram, and also over at Trackside Tea on YouTube as well. You know what? This might actually be my new favourite crossover. Maybe. So that's almost it for this episode of Trackside Tea. I am going to go and see the F1 movie this weekend. Not a premiere, I'm not a big enough podcaster to be invited to premieres yet, but yes, I'm going this weekend, so I will let you know how I enjoyed it, or not, as the case may be. I think there's been a few mixed feelings. Some people loved it, some people thought it was boring. We're going as a family, so that should be quite fun. I will let you guys know what we all think of it. I'll get them all to do a little snippet maybe, and a little soundbite of their view of the F1 movie. And now that is it for this very sideways, but absolutely necessary, I'm sure you agree, episode of Trackside Tea. Next week we're actually back on track with a dive into the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm off to watch P1 right now, so I will speak to you guys later. Until then, stay chaotic, stay caffeinated, and may your pit stops be swift and your tyre choice uncursed.